In this video, I'm going to show you how to make one of these floating shelves. Now, first thing you're going to need is a board. Now, I have this board here. It's MDF material. I'm going to mark it at 6 feet. And you can use whatever wood you have available. It's about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch. Once I mark it, I'm going to cut it. I like to score the top a little bit and then come through and make the final cut. Okay, now I like to router the edge. Now I'm going to use the router here. I'll show you how it makes this nice little groove in the side of the board. See that? That looks real nice. I'm going to run the router down the whole board. And honestly, you'll notice that when you're running the router, that one direction is a lot smoother than the other direction. The router seems to go nice and smooth. I run it that way. And if I have to go back over with the router a second time, go back over wherever I need to. Now I'm going to grab some crown molding and figure out which side looks better. Lay it on there, and then we have to mark it. Now I know the end has to stick out further, so I'm going to draw this triangle on it, knowing that the back side won't stick out as much, because sometimes I'll mess this up and I'll cut it and I'm not sure if you have to flip it over or not. I'll show you. This one I messed up. Now it looks like a good cut, but the problem is the angle on the back. It should be at 45 going the opposite way. This one would be for like an inside corner. I need like a outside corner. So this one's an easy fix. Set this off 45-degree angle, hold the crown molding up against the back board, and we'll cut it. So this crown molding we don't have to cut upside down. Okay, and then once we have that side, we'll mark the other side. I'll draw the triangle again. We'll switch the blade so it's 45 degrees this direction, and we'll cut it again. Okay, now that side looks good. Now we need another 45. So the end has to be the longest. Draw the triangle so we know it's that direction, and we'll cut the 45. Then we'll line them up and test fit them. And that fits pretty well. Okay, so then we'll cut it at on the 0. I like to cut it a little bit longer. This way you can always go back and cut, and that looks pretty good. So now we'll work on the other side. Now the bottom here has to be the longest. We'll draw a triangle. And we'll cut it at the 45-degree angle. Test fit it. And that looks pretty good. Okay, once you're done cutting all your crown molding, you have to nail it in place. I like to use this finishing nail gun. Before we line it up and nail it, I like to take some glue. Now I don't have any wood glue right now, so I'm just going to use Elmer's glue, and that will work fine. We'll just glue the edges. We'll put it together and just tack nail in place. Watch your fingers. There you go. And we'll nail it again. You gotta be careful. Sometimes when you do this, the nail will go in and then it'll bend and come out the side and it'll get you in the finger. So you have to be very careful. We'll glue the other side and we'll nail it in place. And then we'll wipe away the excess glue. Okay, now I have some wood glue. So now we're going to attach this to the board, and we're going to put wood glue on it. And I thought that I could nail this down at an angle, but trying to nail into MDF board is very difficult. As you'll see, I'll nail it, and yep, all the nails bent, and none of them went into the board. So if you're nailing into MDF board, you have to nail straight down, and that will hold in place. So we'll nail this in place. Now I didn't bother ripping out the nails that got bent over. I figure I'll just cover them over with some wood putty after. So we're going to wipe it, so all the excess glue. We're going to measure for the bottom board, and this board will be less than 6 feet long. And we're going to run it on the table saw, and we'll go and test fit it. I like to put some boards down. This way you'll hold the board in place when I try and push it in. And we'll do a quick test fit. And that fits pretty well. So we'll go ahead and put some glue on. And once we have the glue on, we'll put the board back in place. You'll see this bottom board is actually a pine wood board that I'm using. To make sure it's level, and we'll put some nails in it. And then once we have all the nails in, we'll use this plastic wood. This will cover all the nail holes. I like to just put a little on my finger and just push it in place. You can do it to all the seams. If you have any knots on the wood, I like to put over it. And then once it's dried, we'll just sand it quickly. And then I like to put some of the kills on it. And we'll paint some of that on. And then I switch to this Benjamin Moore semi-gloss finish, super white. Now this works really good. I use this paint for all my trim work in my house. It's excellent paint. And then I'll put it in place. I'll have another video on how to make the mountain bracket. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you learned something new, think about subscribing to my YouTube channel. You up to date on all my future videos, and leave a comment about what you liked or what you didn't like. Thanks again for watching.